This was a little trip out of West Bay, and we were doing a bubble check at 6 metres on the way down. Charles had some problems the day before, but as you can see from this footage, he had no leaks to speak of, and everything was looking good. There's a few bubbles coming out of his mouth, but it was his oxygen that had leaked the day before, and we weren't sure why. He thought it might be his din. He had in fact dived on his own the day before. But this day, everything looked good, so on we went down, and we were on the bottom for just about 20 minutes, and then he turned round towards me, and you could clearly see he had a problem, because he's flashing his torch at me there, and he knows he's losing gas. He's looked at his oxygen, and you can see this constant stream of bubbles coming out of his oxygen cylinder. And one look at it, first thing I do is see where it's coming from. It's coming out of the overpressure valve, and then my first reaction was to turn the oxygen off, and then I decided, oh, I don't really want to turn his oxygen off in case we do get split up, and he doesn't realise I've turned it off. So I turn it on, and then I give it another quick check just to make sure it is on. I didn't turn it on very far, and then we give him the up signal, and we're on our way up. We got 40 minutes of deco approximately, and the big thing that sticks in my mind is, yeah, we did everything right at the start of the dive. We did our bubble checks, we had no problems, and now suddenly he's losing oxygen. And at this point it would have been fair to say that, yeah, if he turned his oxygen off himself and turned it on as and when he needed to inject, it would have probably popped the surface. But it's easy to say in hindsight, and the purpose of putting this on YouTube is not to show anyone up or embarrass them, just to encourage people really to carry enough bailout. And by the time we got to 25 metres, his oxygen had run out, and Charles has got the facility to offboard his gas, so he plugs his 50% valve in and starts injecting 50% into his loop, and that's me just checking his PPO2. Everything was cushy. And old Murphy was watching us that day because he made me hook the shot line, so it just shows one thing goes wrong often leads to another. And once we got to about 9 metres, it was being a bit more of an effort to maintain his PPO2 as high as he'd liked. We worked out he's better off just breathing the open circuit 50%, but he had a small problem. He'd rigged his stage so the hose was round the rear P clip, so he couldn't actually put the reg in his mouth. He could have unsorted it easy by unclipping it, but I couldn't feed the second stage through the bungees, so I just cut it with my knife, just to save any faffing about, really. And he was getting it out plenty of time before he needed it, so there wasn't any major panic. And that's it, he's on open circuit now. You know, it's one of them things that no one really wants to do it, and I hope it never happens, but you know, he's lost his O2 and he's doing the right thing, and we're both together, and we've got plenty of gas. I've got stages as well, and he seems quite chilled. And it's fair to say, at this stage on the ascent, you're that close to the surface that you can just relax, and you know you've got plenty of gas, and think about having a beer on the way home. And like I say, the reason for putting this video online is just to show you that you can have a perfectly working rebreather on the surface when you jump in, and something as simple, which is common to all rebreathers, an overpressure valve can fail and you can lose your O2 in a few minutes. So just, you know, for those of you who like being alpinists, or whatever they call it, not carrying any bailout, just remember this video. Murphy is watching.